Don't try to move. You're dying. I may have your cure, but I'm not going to lie. This will hurt.
I've often reminisced and even relived the glory days of playing KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2. Those were amazing games. And I often think to myself, where's KOTOR 3? Well, when SWTOR was announced, I was pretty stoked because to me that sounded like here comes KOTOR 3. And while we got was a pretty awesome MMO, it really didn't fulfill the KOTOR 3 experience I was hoping for. And quite frankly, I think it was kind of a stretch to say it was even similar. Now, while it was set in the same kind of universe and followed similar characters, even though it's 300 years later, it still really didn't feel like the same game at all. I mean, it's an MMO similar to World of Warcraft. It's not KOTOR. And it definitely wasn't KOTOR 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, which is something that developers claimed it was, and they were not even close. I mean, it's a great, like I said, it's a great game, but not KOTOR 3 material. So when Knights of the Fallen Empire was announced, my hopes rose again, but I still was a little wary. So when you start up the game, you can either take one of your level 60 characters, or if you don't have a level 60 character, everybody gets a free level 60 character token. So I use that because I wanted this to be a fresh experience. And I created my character, I hopped in, and you immediately start out just after, if you've seen the Knights of the Fallen Empire teaser trailer, or cinematic trailer, I guess what it really is. You see the two brothers like destroying everything. That happens right after that. You're with Darth Mar, and you go into the deep space to find the Emperor. That's where it starts off. I'm not going to spoil it too much, because if you want to see more of this, you can actually go to my gaming channel link. There's going to be a card that shows up right now, and that'll link. You can click on that and go to the playlist for that, and you can watch all that if you want. So that happens, and from there on, it kind of, the whole story feels a similar setup to KOTOR, and I guess KOTOR 2 kind of. KOTOR 2 was a little bit different in the beginning. But KOTOR, if you remember, you started out on the Endar Spire, and that was the tutorial area. And then you moved into Terrace, and that was the kind of next staging intro area. And then after that was Dantooine, where you became a Jedi. And then after Dantooine is when it opened up, and the whole galaxy was yours. You could go explore. I mean, there's only 4 planets. Or if you updated and got Yavin 4 Station, you could go there, which wasn't a planet, but it was kind of neat to see something new. So you could explore that, and that's kind of what happens, except for it's a lot longer of a journey, give or take. Yeah, I'd say, depending on how much you do is longer. How much you did in KOTOR. If you did all the side quests and stuff, it would probably be about the same amount of time. So that's really what encompasses everything now, except for, like I said, once you get to the end, there's a ton of end content for you to do. I don't want to spoil it too much, but you can recruit a lot of companions and a lot of people to your cause. The biggest things that hold it back, I would say, are probably the in-game engine itself. It still feels like SWTOR, which is one of the reasons why I can't call it KOTOR 3, because it doesn't have that KOTOR feel, really. It has that WoW feel. And the cinematics are a lot more intense, but this also causes issues. And while it could possibly be my computer is actually pretty decent. And it could also be bugs, but something that happens a lot with the cinematics is there's a lot of stuttering, and there's a lot of pauses for each scene. So like if there's an intense scene where a lot of things are moving, and you go to another scene, suddenly you get this kind of stutter, and you see the last image real quick, and then it goes back again. And then also kind of slows down the pacing, because people wait till the camera is on them, and then waits like another second or so before they say something. So it could be like...
Why, is there a problem?
No problem. But we are starting to feel a bit exposed out here.
And it just kind of takes away a little bit from the intensity of everything that's going on. But it's still really enjoyable. It's still definitely way above the bar for what they were doing before. And like I said, I liked what they were doing before, but it's amazing. I really enjoyed it. I think for $15, it's totally worth the purchase. I mean, I've seen games that are out for $60 and there's less content. It had actually a pretty good runtime. I guess it's partly the reason why I'm saying that is because I just kind of plowed through it in the first day and a half, and I was done on the second day, which I probably would have been done the first day if I didn't say, I gotta stop, I have to stop for a bit. Along with that, there didn't always seem like there was enough side quests to do. That's one of the really great things about KOTOR, was there was just always side quests to do, and they always kind of made sense, and you didn't really feel like you were just kind of sidetracking or doing some random useless thing like happens in a lot of quests on SWTOR. So those are really my only downsides. The world designs are amazing. There's 3 new worlds, I believe. There's Odessin, Asylum, and Zakul, and I'm not going to spoil which ones are important for what reasons, but they're all really interesting. They have also upped the ante on the character designs and some of the armors as well. It's not just cookie cutter faces that they made with the character creation tool. There's new kind of reflections you see on armors that I haven't seen in the game before. Maybe I just missed it. Another thing I really appreciated is you're kind of forced to use certain characters for your companions throughout the storyline, which makes a lot of sense to me, and means that I'm not just choosing the same character because I like that guy the best over and over again, and then kind of feeling guilty that I'm not using other characters but not really having a reason to use those characters. Now you have a reason to use those characters and you don't have a choice. They fit into the storyline in a very specific way. It makes sense. The story helps revolve around those characters as well, so it's not just revolving around you specifically, which was something that kind of happened in KOTOR. None of your companions really felt totally necessary. I mean, some of them played their part, but it really was all about you, and in this it's not necessarily all about you, and that's not a bad thing. It's really good. Among the expansion, there's also a lot of good changes that were made to the game itself. The companions have been reworked, combat has been reworked, the way the cartel market has been reworked, everything's been... Not everything, that's an overstatement. A lot of stuff has been changed for the good, and I really appreciate everything that they've done. It's come a long way since the release, and it's just... It's really amazing, I gotta say. I would suggest checking it out. So I'm gonna give the Knights of the Fallen Empire expansion an 8.5 out of 10 because I really enjoyed it. It was a great expansion. There was a lot of high points, a lot of changes made to the game, improved storyline, improved companion interaction, but only an 8.5 because there were some downsides. The engine kind of held it back a little bit. There was some stuttering, there was some pauses that were just a little bit weird, and I guess that's it. I would highly recommend checking out. Like I said before, 15 bucks, that's not a very big investment, and you don't even have to play all the way to level 60. Although if you wanted to, one of the big changes that was made to this was the leveling process, so you don't actually have to go talk to the moisture farmer anymore. You just do the primary core quests, which is the storyline, and I'm guessing probably also planetary quests, which everything kind of goes in line, so you're really not going out of your way, and overall, it's pretty good. So, yeah, you should check it out. Alright, before I wrap this up, I just want to clear up some confusion there might be. The Spaceport vlog is not taking over what I did with the Cantina show, which had to do with Luke Skywalker being strongest, and the top 10 Clone Wars, and the Elder Scrolls thing that I did as well. That's not taking place of that. This is just something else that I'm doing that allows me to do stuff that talk about stuff that's similar but in a more intimate fashion. It's not scripted, I just talk about it. There's a little bit, there's a lot bit less editing. So I can just kind of get these up each week, and it's a little bit late in the week at this point. As a matter of fact, it's the end of the week, but it's still the week, so that still counts, it still counts. And I'm definitely still working on Cantina show episodes. They just can't really come out as often because they require a ton more work. But I'm working on one right now, and I've been working on it for a little while, but you know. So that's going to come out soon. You'll have more details a little bit, probably next week as to when that will be out. But I can see it coming out within the next week, maybe week and a half. I wouldn't be surprised, but don't quote me on it. Don't quote. You know what happens when you quote me? I don't know what happens. I'm not the one quoting me. I'm just saying this stuff. So that's it for this week. If you played the Knights of the Fallen Empire expansion, what are your thoughts on it? Try not to spoil too much for people who haven't seen it. I mean, I haven't played it. I guess I haven't seen it either. People who watch it on YouTube as well. But, you know, we can talk. We'll talk. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye. See ya. Bye-bye. Bye. See ya. Probably gonna edit this out. Probably.